Blog Talk Radio.
Fit for Life Radio. Our show is dedicated to making it easier for you to reach your weight loss goals. We feature guests who are here to share their experience, knowledge, and a little inspiration. Let's join our host, Carol Dunlap, in the studio now.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Fit for Life radio show. I am not for sure if Lee Haney's going to be able to join me today. I think we might have an emergency or something coming up. But we're going to hang out for a little bit and see what's going on. And if perhaps he cannot join us, then we will move on to something else. It's just the way it goes on live shows, you know. So we're going to hang out for a minute. I'm glad you could join us. I sent him a message. I haven't heard from him this morning, which is not like him. So anything could be happening. I hope everything is good. And I hope everything is going well for you all today. What we got going here? We're going to hang out for about a couple more minutes, and then we're going to see what's happening. I hope that you're having a good week. It's so overcast here in Atlanta today. This is not a hot Atlanta day. Well, it was sunny earlier, but I don't know what happened to the sun. It kind of went away. So if Lee doesn't call in a little bit, we are just going to say that this show is not going to happen today. Sometimes it goes like that. I'm sure that something crazy kind of came up because we were looking for it. Wait. I think I hear Lee now. Hey, Lee, how you doing?
Hello, Carol. I'm sorry for running behind. I've just finished doing an interview with Muscular Development magazine.
Awesome. I knew something was going on. I was like, I haven't heard anything. I was like, but we're going to see. And you didn't say that we weren't going to do it. So I was like, okay, let me scramble through and see what I can talk about. But
I'm changing gears all over the place.
That is okay. Now, was your interview live with them, or was it for their magazine?
Well, it's for the monthly edition that we have in the magazine where we talk.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh. You still there? Uh-oh. I lost Lee. He's lost somewhere. I bet he hit a button on that phone. That's okay. He's going to call back in a minute. So if you guys don't know, Lee has a column that he does with Muscular Development magazine every month. Oh, here he goes again. Well, hold on a second. Oops, I think this is Pam. Hold on a second. And he does like I say, he does an interview with them. He has a column that he does in the magazine every month. So if you have not picked up Muscular Development, you will need to do that right away. And because we are also showcasing the Personal Trainers Monthly in there, and I think this past month, Carlos Rodriguez, who is known affectionately as Pastor Pump, was our featured trainer of the month. So each month we're going to have a different featured trainer. And if you guys don't know, we are working feverishly to get everything together for Lee Haney's new community that he is going to debut. I'm thinking I'm going to release a little ahead of time, probably about around the beginning of July. He's going to release that. Let me see. I think that.
Carol.
Hey, Lee, you back?
oh, my goodness. I'm having a heck of a time today.
Just take a deep breath. Just woo-sigh. Woo-sigh. It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, just take a deep breath.
That's it. Look, you're among friends right now, so it's all okay.
Good, okay. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want you to fire me.
No. I wouldn't do that. You're much too important to let go just that easily.
I got to tell my wife that.
No, I'm kidding. Your wife said it?
Yeah, I got to tell her that, you know.
We're on the same page then. We love you, Lee. Where would you go? We would not let you go anywhere. We know you have great information for us.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Hey, it's live radio. Things happen. Things have happened before. You know, we couldn't hear each other or couldn't talk or couldn't connect or something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, our lovely audience just appreciates us so much for taking this time out, and we are so happy that all of you out there could join us today. So, here for a treat.
All right.
So, what is going on in Lee's world today?
Well, you know, we just finished doing, as I was saying, an article there with Muscular Development Magazine, in which we also promote, you know, we make sure that we promote Fit for Life on the show, and we get people that have questions, and that impacts a lot of people in the bodybuilding world and the fitness community at large. So the topics sort of cross over and so forth. We were talking about triceps today and how to prevent certain injuries and that sort of thing. We did a whole recap on all of the various body parts. So today, as we had mentioned earlier, I wanted to talk about, you know, developing good quality muscle and how to go about doing that, and then why that's so important. It's extremely important. You know, last week we talked about, you know, more or less weight loss and losing weight the proper way, and we talked about those who are participating in the challenge and how to go about burning fat and getting it off. But you know what? If you don't have muscle, you don't have a metabolism. So
that is so true. That is so true.
so you have to have muscle. So let's talk. We're going to talk about that today and talk about ways to help produce some good lean muscle. I started with one of my clients this morning. I had trained her about 2 years ago. I mean, she's a beautiful 62-year-old, but she, recently wrote a book. She's taken at least around 2 years off, and let me just tell you, the difference in those 2 years is not good. It was not good. We went to her first workout this morning. She could barely get her breath, and I'm talking about just the least of training that was given her, because you know, she's a doctor. And she does a lot of writing, a lot of counseling, that sort of thing, you know, emotional counseling. But she had not participated on a regular basis on any type of exercise and fitness program. So in the meanwhile...
Well, we didn't tell her to take it completely off. We just said rest a little bit and, you know, go to the gym a little bit, not just to not do nothing.
Exactly. You know, so as a result of that, she is nowhere close to where she was 2 years ago. She picked up body fat. Her endurance level is down. And listen, we were just using one of the round exercise balls, and she found that was hard to throw. That thing was only like maybe 1.5 pounds. And she she was struggling with that. But that's what happens when you don't continue to do resistance training, when you don't continue to work the muscle. You know, all of a sudden, curvature starts in the spine, because particularly ladies, they start to lose bone. And we know, Carol, that the number one thing in fighting against osteoporosis is strength training.
It is.
So,
and doing it now, and doing it right now. You know, I want to throw this in here real quick, because this conversation I had just this morning, just a little while ago, goes so well with what we're talking about now. A good friend of mine, I was talking to her on the phone, and she is in her 50s, I want to say, but she looks awesome. She looks totally awesome. And she was saying that she had not been really strength training lately, because she had done strength training before and she got really, really tight, and because she's a dancer, she was not able to maintain her flexibility. Well, you know, we're not even going to go into why.
We ain't going to go there. That's a sorry excuse.
No. Yeah, one of the reasons was she wasn't keeping up her stretching. I know that had to be it, because, you know, I weight train all the time, and I'm very flexible. Yeah. Very flexible. So then we got into, she said, well, I was thinking about strength training and, you know, using some weights, but I think I may wait till I get in my 60s to do that. I was like, hold the phone right away. What are you talking about? You know, I wanted to say something, because this is a very knowledgeable person. She's got, you know, several degrees, and she got business and all that stuff. I'm like, wait, hold up. There is a need for what we talk about. Don't wait till you get your 60s. Start right now in strength training, right now, because, like you said, if you don't have any muscle, you don't have any metabolism, and you can do all you want without, you know, taking in protein and building up that good quality muscle, you can't even burn anything. You're just going to be slab.
Yep, you'll be skinny and fat. And the other thing that'll happen, too, her skeletal system will become so weak. You know, as a dancer, so okay, she's going to be cool with the lower body. But her upper body will become so weak that I guarantee her spine will start curving, and her arms and her shoulders, all of these different areas will become weaker and weaker, so she'll be a rack of bones by the time she hits 60-something, a little on 70. She won't be able to push her shopping cart or move a vacuum or won't have any type of upper body strength whatsoever. That's the main thing to keep the skeletal system intact. It's muscle.
Right. And women, we can't afford not to do upper body strength training because we're already kind of on that. You know, men are naturally born with the upper body strength because as God designed our bodies and our human being, you know, they're the hunter-gatherers, go out, you know, gather the food and take care of the home, take care of where we live and all that stuff, and they're the ones you guys are the ones who are out there, you know, weeding and hoeing and, you know, gathering, you know, all that stuff. But we have women, we have all our strength and most of our muscle in our lower half. That's why we're always concerned with that. So we don't have that upper body strength that men do, and God made it that way for a reason, so we got to work harder on it. So, you know, if you want to be able to push a shopping cart or just bend over and lift something up, then you need to be doing some strength training to build up that upper body.
You have to do it. You got to do it. Now, what should a strength training program look like? Now, we've talked about this on several different occasions, but at least you want to have at least one basic foundational strength movement for every body part. And for arms, for instance, it's going to be bicep curls. You know, some people get little 3-pound weights, 3-pound dumbbells. Listen, don't waste your time doing something like that. If it don't weigh more than your purse, you're not doing anything. Because
that's a good point. That is a good point because most ladies, our purses weigh at least 10 pounds.
Exactly. So you have to have a type of weight that's going to give you a stimulus beyond what you're used to if you're going to get stronger. And you're not going to turn into Lee Haney if you use an 8-pound dumbbell. You know, my wife liked to use 8. She liked to use 10s. So because she's been training for some time now, she's worked up to that. But if you're just getting started, you want to use a 5, great. But don't get a 3-pound or 2-pound dumbbell and waste your time. So you have to have something that's really going to attack that muscle, something that's going to give you the type of stimulation you need. So we got bicep curls for the biceps. We got dumbbell presses for the shoulders. And then we have the bent over rows for the back. We have the squats, you know, weighted squats for the legs. We have tricep kickbacks or standing tricep extensions for the back of the arm, the triceps. Then you have your push-ups for your chest. Now, you do push-ups from the wall, or you can do them on the floor on your knees. A lot of ladies like to use and do it on the knees. And you need to do a push-up, particularly if you want to make sure first you don't have any shoulder problems. You know, if you do, then let's just lean against the wall and push straight out. Do a push-up in that way. But you got to do these strength movements in order to develop good quality muscle. You got to have them. Now, those of you who say, well, what does that look like? Guess what? You can go to LeeHaney.com. I have a 30-minute total body workout DVD that includes all of these different movements that I just shared with you. So you can go there and you can order this DVD and get it, okay? Now, Carol, the other part of that is the nutrition. Now, carbohydrates are there to help give you energy, to get you through your day. And if you're going to be working out, you got to have that to work out. Protein is there to repair cell and tissue. If you want to develop good quality lean muscle, you have to have protein in the diet. And protein comes in, several different sources. We in bodybuilding, we love, and when I say bodybuilding, if you lift weights, you're a bodybuilder. Maybe you don't go to the stage, but guess what? You're a bodybuilder. If you do resistance bands, you're a bodybuilder. If you use the medicine balls, you're a bodybuilder, because the whole concept of bodybuilding is building the body better than it was before, or making sure it's repaired, continuing the repair process. That's building the body. That's why we call it bodybuilding. Okay? So, a quality protein should be eggs, could come from fish, could come from chicken. Now, when you're talking chicken and eggs, I make sure that on the label it says no hormones and no antibiotics. I like free-range eggs, so it's listed on the label. It may cost a little bit more, but this is my body. I'm going to put quality in it. Then as far as, you can also look at that with the chicken where it says no hormones and no antibiotics. So those are normally your favorite forms of protein. Then, of course, you have your protein supplements. Could be whey is one of the best on the market. You have your whey protein. Then, of course, you have rice protein. Not too crazy about rice protein. I prefer whey. If you're not lactose, intolerant, then you can deal with the whey. For the most part, 90% of the people have no problem with whey. Okay? So those are your better sources of protein right there. Now, how much protein? Normally you want to have, your diet should consist of about 30% protein, about 50% carbohydrates, and the remaining percentage is going to be fat. You're going to get that amount of fat whether you want to or not, but you need a certain amount of fat in the diet, fat from good sources. So if you took in around, most ladies, that work and so forth, that's got a nice little active schedule, and their goal is to they work out, they want to keep their body fat under control, but at the same time maintain a good level of muscle. We're talking around 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. Now, and that's for the average female. The average male, you're talking probably around 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. Now, you still break that caloric guide down to 30% protein, 50% carbohydrate, and the remaining percentage fat. And that's if the goal is to develop good quality muscle. Now, in some cases, you may want to up the protein to maybe 35 to 40%. If you say, well, look, I really want to get this body fat down a little bit more under control, then you lower your carbohydrates and you take your protein a little higher. Or you can take your fat a little higher, and fat's in the way of nuts like almonds, raw cashew nuts, sunflower seeds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, nuts of that sort. Keeping in mind that they are very calorie dense, so you can't just snack on them all day. And next thing you know, you're not snacked up 1,000 calories of nuts. So
yeah, you got to be conscious about your portion control. Lee, I wanted to ask you something because I got a question from someone about being a vegetarian and also being able to get in the proper amount of protein. Now, what do you have any tips about that?
Well, that's where you have your beans. Beans and rice combined together, and I say beans and brown rice, is a perfect combination of protein right there. Could be field peas, could be lentils, could be the Crowder peas, could be navy beans, could be pinto beans. Beans is a super form of protein. And then you also have your vegetable protein powders. They don't taste good. They taste awful. they taste terrible.
I've never tried them at all.
They taste awful, but you can doctor them up, by putting some different things in them. Could be a little pineapple. You can, pineapple in them, some blueberries, and you can doctor them up to give them a better taste. You can add a little stevia in them for a little taste, a little sweetener and that sort of thing. But there's ways to get it done. There are several bodybuilders out there that's vegetarians. Matter of fact, one of the greatest legends, Bill Pearl, was also. And he has a phenomenal physique.
Good. Well, that's good to know because I've got two people at least have asked me about being a vegetarian and being a bodybuilder and can you do it? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm sure you can. You just have to rely a little heavier, like you said, on the proteins, on the vegetable proteins and beans and rice and things like that.
No doubt about it because, see, one thing about having a diet, a vegetarian-style diet, good quality vegetables, the food is in and out. So the body uses what it needs, then it's right out of the system. The energy level of a vegetarian is going to be out of the roof, too, because they're not putting foods in that's stressful on the digestive system.
Okay.
It's going to be easier to digest beans and rice, and then you have your spinach, your leafy veggies, and that sort of thing, than it would be to try to digest, chicken or fish. That takes a longer process, but the beans are like, bam, in and out. So it goes right to the muscle, gives you what you need in the way of energy, and then what's not utilized is passed off as waste. It's a perfect program.
All right, love it. Love it. Got some great information, as always.
and now, Carol, as far as, for those out there saying, well, look, should a diet look like? You can email me at leehaney.com. You'll find my contact there, and I can email you if you request one. I can email you an eating program, so you can follow that. Then we also have our protein powder, which is we have one called Meal Support. It's a combination of protein and carbohydrates, a 2-to-1 ratio, protein and carbohydrates. So we got 30 grams of protein and 2 scoops. We only have 15 grams of carbohydrates. So it's still making sure that you get, just enough carbs to give you energy, but the protein to feed the muscle. Now, how many days a week should you train a muscle if you want it to grow? And ladies, please, those of you listening, particularly ladies, don't get afraid of muscle, because and then as far as the scale is concerned, because muscle weighs more than fat. So and so that's where you have to watch the measurements of the tape and the feel of your clothes, because as you start to put on more muscle, that muscle is going to feed on stored fat. That's what you want to happen. So you start to drop body fat and pick up good quality lean muscle, so you'll take on a nice toned look. And see, that's true whether you're into the general fitness or whether you're into bodybuilding training. Because what I would do is I train for competition. I would keep my protein content high, keep my carbohydrates at a bare minimum. And that allowed me to put on good quality muscle while I was getting rid of body fat and not having to do a bunch of aerobic to get rid of fat. So the more muscle you have, the more the more effective your body is going to do at burning fat. So it's real important. So that resistance training, I'd say each body part at least, if you're training for competition, at least once every 4th day. Each muscle group needs to be trained. Once every 4th day. Calves, every day. General population, at least every other day, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, using a functional training or circuit-style training program, similar to what I have on the DVD that we have available on my website. So if you follow that, I guarantee you will get excellent results, pick up good quality lean muscle, kick their metabolism up, and then, Carol, as you know, you can have a few cheat days if that's the case. Because your body then, not a whole lot of cheat days, but, you can have one and your body say, hey, what's that? It'll chew it up and spit it out, and there you haven't lost anything.
Exactly. Lee, I wanted to ask you something about the cardio. Now, most people who are listening who are bodybuilders will run from some cardio. They don't want to do cardio. They're like, oh, my God, cardio is a sign of the devil type of thing. But cardio is a good thing, and I like how you said if you have more muscle on your body, you don't have to do a lot of aerobics to burn cardio, but tell them how we can't leave cardio out, and it can't be the only thing that you're doing.
Yeah, you can't leave cardio out, because this is what happens. If your goal, listen, you can't train like a horse and eat like a bird. And I'm speaking to the bodybuilding community now. If you're going to train heavy, you have to eat heavier type of calories. Let's say heavier. Increase the number of calories, because the body works in demand and supply. If I'm demanding more physically out of the body, I have to supply with more. For instance, if you're going to be using heavier weights to put on a larger muscle, then you want to increase your caloric intake probably by 250 to 300 calories more a day times 7 days a week. That'll give you hopefully a good half a pound of muscle that you've gained in the course of a week. Now, in gaining the muscle, you want to make sure you don't put on additional body fat. So you have to keep tabs on what's going on in the mirror. So if you see that as you put on more muscle size, your abs start to fade away, because that generally happens when you put on more size. Then you got to make sure you keep those aerobics in the training in order to keep the body fat down while you put on muscle. And it's possible to do that. That's what I've done during all of my competitions. I kept my calories high, my carbohydrates were high, my protein was high. I would train generally around 12 to 15 pounds over my previous contest weight, but I kept aerobics there that would allow me to keep my calories up and to see my abs as I put on more muscle size. So those aerobics is extremely important. I didn't aerobic myself to death. You look in the mirror, it's going to say you either fat or you have abs. You don't have to have any intention telling you. You already know. Look in the mirror, And so if I see my abs start to fade, I say, okay, I'm going to add at least around 15 minutes of aerobics, either treadmill or the elliptical, after my workout, because it takes roughly about 15 minutes to get that thermogenesis kicked up in the body. So I'll allow the training to do that. Then when I jump on that bike or the elliptical for the 15 minutes or the tread, then my body's going to benefit from the whole 15 and not trying to do 10, 15 minutes just to warm up. I'm already warm. So I'll go right there. Wow. Thermogenesis is already happening. So if I was on a split system, which that's what I use, I would do 15 minutes after the workout in the morning, 15 minutes after the workout in the evening. So I'm talking a total of 30 minutes on doing aerobics. Now, 30 minutes of aerobics time, 7 days a week, that's going to give you roughly around 1,700 calories, a little over that, 1,800 calories being burned in the course of a week, which will equal to a half a pound of body fat being lost. See? As I lose a half a pound of body fat, I pick up a pound of muscle. It's simple math, but you got to do those aerobics in order to make sure that process happens.
You just made it so easy to figure it out, Lee. When I think all these people are running around with their heads cut off, like, chickens with their head cut off, trying to figure out, I'm on this treadmill for 2 hours every day. I don't see any change, but I don't see them lifting any weight. Then I got these other people who are lifting weights every single day for 4 or 5 hours in the gym. They're like, I don't see any change. Well, you're lifting too much. You're staying in there too long. You're not doing enough aerobics. So you just put it all into a concise little formula that you can work out. And I'm here to tell you that even before I heard you say that, Lee, this is what I followed doing my contests, and even what I follow now, and it works. It's just very simple. It works. It just works.
And it doesn't take that much. You don't have to aerobic yourself to death. Just stay within striking distance. Watch the mirror with the abs. You see the abs start to fade? Okay, let's add some aerobics. Okay, then let's go back and say, okay, how much? Oh man, I didn't know I was taking in 45 grams of fat a day. Okay, let's cut it back to maybe 20 grams of fat or 25. So you got to do your numbers. It's all math.
Yeah. You just got to be aware. You have to take responsibility for what you're putting into your mouth, which is what you and I say all the time. You have to be aware, and you have to take control of your life. Because, look, I'm leading my life, and you're leading yours. So everyone out there, you need to take control, because you can only do what you can do.
That's right. Take your notes. Take control. Stay on top of your game. I had a young lady to call me, not a young lady, she's a trainer, and she called me and I was working with a new client and so forth, and wanted to know, well, what do we need to do at this point and so forth. I said, well, first of all, she got to write down everything she eating in the course of a day, what type of workout program she on, what kind of system is she on. Is it a 3-on? Is it a straight 6? What's happening? What type of work do she do? What is her ratio of protein, carbohydrates, fat? What kind of supplement program she's on? Everything's connected to everything.
Yes.
How much aerobics are you doing today? So everything is connected. You just can't guesstimate your way into being your very best physically. You have to know the numbers, know the math.
You do. Wow, Lee, that was great. I mean, this was like a whole certified program right here in just this little 30 minutes as we've talked. And I want to encourage everyone out there, if you have any questions at all about what Lee just brought forth to us and the knowledge that he has given us right now, you need to go to his site, LeeHaney.com, and contact him, because Lee will be more than happy to break it down to you. And then you just got to do it. Breaking it down is not going to help you if you're not going to do it, so I want you to do it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Lee, thanks so much. I'm sorry you got a little hectic, crazy start, but, man, you brought it. You brought it today. That's all I have to say. I am so impressed, and I'm always impressed with you, but just the knowledge that you brought forth today was just wonderful. A lot of people are going to benefit from this. I know they are.
Well, and we're so excited about the community that we're putting together, and we're going to continue to help people and give them great information. And Carol, it's an honor to have you as a very important part of this. So we're going to do some great stuff. Great stuff.
We are speaking of the community, I let go of a little bit right before when you were trying to come back on and stuff, but I didn't tell them. We're trying to get everything together for a July the 1st opening. So right now, if you want to be in the know about what's going on with the community, I want you to go to LeeHaney.com and look on the upper right side. There's a banner that says Lee Haney Community is coming. I want you to click on that, and I want you to put in your email address, and we will let you know when everything is happening, so you can be among the first people to know. So do that right now. LeeHaney.com, look on the right side. There's a banner there. I want you to click on that, put in your email address. We're not going to spam you. I promise. We're only going to use this to help you and to give you information from Lee's community. Everyone, please do that right now. Thanks again, Lee, for an awesome show again, and join us again. Everyone, join us again next week. We're going to do this all over again, starting on Tuesday, then again on Wednesday, and we'll be back again with Lee on Thursday. So everyone, have a great day, stay fit, and have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next week, y'all.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information on products and services offered on today's program, go to www.optimumbodysculpting.com and click on the Fitness Blog tab. We'll see you next time on Fit for Life Radio. Thanks again for listening.